The 5-second rule. People that think you can drop something on the floor and if it's less than 5 seconds or 5 seconds or less, that you can just pick it up and eat it or whatever.
I ate something off the floor already this morning.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, 5 seconds is a long time. What if we didn't talk for 5 seconds?
There's a biologist by the name of Tim Call. Tim Call's from Utah, and he put some videos out on social media, and he did a popcorn test. Dropping popcorn on the floor, 5 seconds, pick it up quickly before 5 seconds. And you ought to look at fresh popcorn under the microscope and then look at the popcorn that sat on the floor for 5 seconds, and it is nasty.
Well, it's going to depend where you drop it.
Well, here's the deal. The findings are foul. So this guy, Tim Call, is on social media. He's a scientist, and he tests everyday items and spaces for bacteria. And he's got hundreds of thousands of followers. And this time he was trying to answer the question, hey, is the 5-second rule real? How does it apply to movie theater floors?
Oh, that's
all right.
The worst spot.
You ever get like the
stickiness.
Who would pick up something off of the movie theater floor? That's, if you're hungry.
To conduct the test, he got a bag of fresh popcorn from the concession stand, went into the theater, and he grabbed some of the popcorn and then apparently tested the popcorn that was in the bag fresh versus popcorn that dropped on the floor. And the popcorn that was on the floor for 5 seconds was just nasty beyond belief. And it was like covered with germs and bacteria.
From 5 seconds?
Yeah, from just being on the floor versus the fresh popcorn, which was virtually bacteria-free.
Okay, here's something interesting to think about, too. Think about foods in their categories of porousness. Like popcorn, I feel like is pretty neutral in that regard.
Oh, no.
What if you drop
porous.
a banana, like a mushy banana on the floor? I mean, that's going to absorb everything.
Again, I think that's a good question, and I think you ought to go get your science degree and maybe do this and test various foods. So, for instance, like a banana with like a slimy surface which would absorb, or you would think just because of its surface area would pick up more versus maybe having a nice slick-skinned grape.
How about an M&M?
An M&M versus a gummy bear.
Yes.
It's you would think that the gummy bear surface being more soft and mushy and porous would be more conducive to
transference.
to act like a magnet and pick up the bacteria.
Exactly.
So I'll tell you what, why don't you do this experiment with you? Instead of counting jelly beans out of bags with your daughters, why don't you go grab a microscope and get a lab coat and do these experiments.
Like a little kitty laboratory or something. That'd be
love
great.
that word.
Exactly.
That's the only way I say it.
A laboratory.
Laboratory.
Yes. You don't use it. You don't use the bathroom. You use the lavatory, don't you?
No, I call it.
What if you're in the laboratory? You got to use the lavatory. And what if you're having trouble going and use a suppository?
Ew.
Oh, I can help you with that.
You better be sure you're in the right spot doing the right thing.